Today, we're going to do a request. Marion, the girl I work with, says, Karen, do chicken pot pies. So guess what, Marion? This is for you. We're going to do chicken pot pies. What you're going to need is a pie crust. You can make it or cheat like we're going to do today, and we're going to use store-bought pie crust. Couple pie tins, depending on how much you make and how many pies you want to make. We're going to make 2. You're going to need chicken bouillon. You need heavy cream, not a quart, maybe a cup. Got some parsley, some thyme, garlic, bay leaf, onion, celery, carrots. This is just the base, okay? And chicken. I use a whole chicken. That's where all the flavor is. You got chicken legs and chicken, whatever you want to call these things, wings, breast, and that's it. Now all we got to do is put it in a pan and start cooking. So get a big pot out, throw your chicken in, okay? Always make sure your hands are washed. I washed my hands before my sister turned on the video. So anyways, throw your chicken in there. And I use everything. I even use the backbone. Throw it in. Make sure you clean your mess up. We'll get that all washed up as soon as I'm done putting this all together, because I'm real funny about chicken. Okay?
Karen, do you wash your chicken?
Yes, I cut it up and wash it. What's the matter for you? You always wash chicken. Okay, so now this is just the base. This is all going to be strained, and then we're just going to take the liquid, okay? So just take a chunk of celery, whatever you want. Just take that, even with the leaves and everything, throw it in there. I already cut the onion up and the garlic. So I'm going to just throw that all in there. I'm going to take all this carrots, throw this all in here, just like that. Okay? All right, I'm back washing my hands. Okay. I washed the chicken before I went on the video. And then I touched it, so I don't want to touch any of my my herbs with the chicken hand. Okay, so I take a couple bay leaves, and you don't even have to count them this time because you're going to strain it and go and just take the meat out, and the rest is going to be garbage, or feed it to the dog. We're going to add probably about a teaspoon of thyme. Yeah, probably about a teaspoon, and just throw that in there. The parsley is going to go in when the cream goes in, and that's at the very end, but I wanted to show you what went into the pot pie. Okay, you put a little salt and pepper in there. Okay, a little pepper, a little salt. I don't put a lot of salt in because I put a little chicken bouillon, and the reason why I do this is for the color. I put probably maybe 3 teaspoons in. We'll do 3 teaspoons. And then once you're done with that, throw it on the stove, bring it to a boil. Okay, usually cook this for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then I take the chicken out, and then I strain it, and then we go back to the liquid. Now, if I didn't have the chicken, this is what's going to make chicken broth, okay? Now, if I didn't put the chicken in and just put the vegetables in, it would be vegetable broth. See how easy it is to make your own vegetable broth? Okay, so we're going to put this on the stove, and we'll be back to you in a little bit. Now we're just going to chop up some celery and carrots and onions. And you know what? I forgot to tell you folks. I put frozen vegetables in also. A bag of mixed frozen vegetables like peas or whatever. Whatever you got. You put whatever you want in the pot pie. And I also forgot potatoes. I always put 1 or 2 potatoes in and chop them up. I don't work off a script. I'm doing this all, raw here. So you're gonna have to give me a break and just kind of go with the flow. I'm going with the flow. Okay, so I washed this up. I'm gonna get some carrots out. I'm gonna chop them up. Get some more onion out. Chop that up, and then still wait for my chicken. Okay, guys. One ingredient that I didn't put on there was the ground turmeric. Okay. Okay. I just said that I forgot to put the turmeric in, and all that turmeric does is look. See, it makes it turn like yellow, so it kind of makes it look more appetizing. So, you know, if you got those finicky eaters. But I only put a teaspoon in just to change up the color a little bit. Okay? Still cooking. All right, guys, check this out. Look at this. Oh, man. Look how nice that looks. Okay, and what I usually do is take a little bit of that broth. Look at that broth. Holy oh, man. This is like crazy good. This beats any kind of store-bought, and this is far better than Swanson's. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay, let's try this. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Can you see that? Let's try. Oh, God damn, Karen, I'm good. I can't. One more taste. I got to double check. Jane, you want to try this? Oh, okay. This pretty. Next step, guys. Here we go. I'm gonna take this all out. I got the chicken. So I'm gonna take all the chicken out. Now this was a whole chicken, so don't all get nervous. We have to take the skins off and get the meat off of there. Of course, I can't use the dark meat, and the reason why is behind the camera, just so you know. She doesn't like dark meat, so if she's eating it, I don't have to, but I'd rather have her eat it. So I'm going to take all of the meat out, and then, that was it. Now I'll take all these goody stuff out. You know what? You can either eat it, or, you know, I do like boiled onions. Or throw it out. Well, whatever you want to do with it. Now, the carrots I give to my dog, because my dog loves carrots. That right there is a piece of garlic. I'll save it because I know my sister will eat it. There's probably a few of them in there. But anyways, once I'm done with that, I'm going to strain this. I'm going to shut off the heat. I better use a ladle for a few minutes. I'd hate to burn myself on the video. See, this way, all those herbs and stuff that are in this strainer, and so then all that's left is the broth, and it's going into the pan below. It's really simple to make, you guys. You know, if it looks hard, it really isn't hard. It's a little time consuming, but I will tell you, if you go to Geneseo or wherever you're from, and you go to Walmart, grab one of the roasted chickens. Oh man, I'm telling you right now, that is the best thing to make these chicken pot pies with. Throw that whole thing, just like I did, in a pot of water, and boil it with the herbs I told you, and I'll tell you what, it is the best. Or if you don't want to do that, you can make chicken soup with it. And I usually take the meat out of it or off of it, and then put the bones in and make a broth with it, and it makes it great soup. So I'm going to just dump the rest in here. Okay. Okay. We're just going to finish straining this. Okay, so then, okay, so if you look here, see all you got left is the broth. You see? So now what I'm going to do is I have my carrots, my onions, celery. I cut it all up, okay? So I'm going to put that in here. All right, and there's a little water there. That's all right. It's nice and flavored. Now I'm going to let this cook for a few minutes. Oh, the potatoes are in here too. Don't forget the potatoes. See? You gotta have potatoes in pot pies. Okay, so we're gonna let this cook. And just before it gets done, we're gonna add frozen vegetables. You know, the family likes the beans and the peas. So I'll put a bag of those in. And then we'll thicken it up. And the pot pie is gonna be done. Okay? Catch you later. Okay, so we're back. We let the chicken cool down a little bit, okay? So now what I do is I take all this fat off, okay? And then I get rid of this bone, take all the meat. Ooh, still a little warm. But for you guys, I'll burn my fingers. This is the breast. I'd really like to use dark meat, but I don't know if I should with my sister here. Because usually I have more white meat than this. And then what I do is I don't throw the skin and stuff away. I give it to the dog. Look at that little wishbone. He's just a little guy. Better make a wish with that. So, okay, so once I'm all done with this, which I think it's about dusted, and I take it and I just cut it up into little pieces. Doesn't have to be perfect. You just cut it. And as you see, it shreds as you're doing it. So you get little chunks, you get little shredded chicken. And you see the color on there, that's from the turmeric that I put in. And you don't have to use the turmeric. If you have it, put it in. If you don't, that's fine. It just gives it a little, that yellow look. You know, when you buy a pot pie in the store or whatever, and you see it's got the yellow, it's not because the chicken's yellow, it's because they put turmeric in it. See, and this is all I do. Done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it in the broth. And then what I'm going to do after that, okay, you take my mixed vegetables, okay? Any kind of mixed vegetables. Doesn't have to be a name brand. You know, not everybody can afford name brand stuff. But you do what you got. And that's what I do. So then I add this. See now, the pan's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, that's all right too. Because what I'm going to do is, once this is cooked, which is going to be in a few minutes, see it's getting thicker and thicker. Okay? So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take a lot of this broth out. I'm going to cool it down. And then I'm going to make like a roux. And we'll put it back in and let it start to thicken. And then that's when we're going to add our cream. And then put our pot pies together. It seems like a long process, but it really isn't. You know, once you get started. You know how to make chicken soup? You know how to make a pot pie. Okay, guys, this is what we're going to do. We're going to thicken up our chicken pot pie. I have flour. I'm going to put in here, okay? I always put a little salt in it and a little pepper. Okay? And then what I did was I took some of the broth out of here, okay? So I'm going to take this broth and I'm going to put it in here. And be careful because this will explode on you, especially if you seal it up and shake it. So you're better off if you take a fork and you kind of paste it up. See how it's thickening right in there? See? So you don't want to put the lid on it and start shaking because you're going to end up being in big trouble, like I've always done before. And so what I do is I pour this in here and start thickening it. Okay? You want this to cook for a few minutes because you don't want it to taste like flour, okay? It's like when you make gravy. Boy, my mother used to make the best gravy. Never had a lump in it. But anyways, there we go. We got it starting to thicken up. I'll throw the rest in, okay? There's more in the bottom, but that's fine. I always make more than enough. Okay, so once you're done with that, see how that gravy is, well, once it starts boiling, you'll see it. See, it's starting to thicken up. Now this is where I add a little cream. Okay, I shook this up. Okay, now I add the cream. Maybe about like a half a cup. Look at, see how it turns creamy? Now this is gonna cook down a little bit because it's gonna thicken. It's heavy cream. This is gonna thicken up into a nice gravy. Once I'm done, right here, now that I'm done with this part, I'm gonna add my parsley. What'd you do with my parsley? All right, I found the parsley sitting next to me. Blamed her for nothing. All right, I usually put a couple, maybe, what's it, maybe a tablespoon, tablespoon and a half. I just put it in there. You know, it is, you know, it really doesn't, parsley really doesn't have a flavor, but it sure does look pretty. It's your piece, it's starting to thicken. Okay, so I'm gonna let this reduce a little bit, and then we'll shut it off and let it cool for a few minutes, and then we're gonna put together the pie. Okay, we're back. What we're gonna do is put together this pot pie now. Okay, I have an egg. We're gonna break that open. We're gonna shuffle it up. I put a little water in here too, okay? And this is gonna go over the top of the pot pie. Let me tell you something. It really doesn't take that long to do this pot pie. It may seem, but it's probably like a half an hour prep time, and then the rest is cooking time. And then all you have to do is roll out your dough and put it together. Throw it in the oven. We're gonna go 375. Okay? And we'll get that going. Anyways, we're gonna pull out this handy dandy pie crust. And what a great invention. They just make the damn stuff easier for everybody to do their own thing. Anyways, and you can make your own if you want. Okay, I usually just give it a little bit, a little roll, and then we'll throw it in the pan, sort of like this. Now look, I'm not a baker, okay? Just so you know, I'm not a baker, but I'm gonna do some like maybe Christmas cookies or something on there. You know, some of the family favorites. But anyways, I throw the dough on. I'm gonna do another one. So we're doing 2 today. Okay? So believe me, when you make these, you're gonna have to make like 2 or 3 of them. Usually I make around 4 because I pass them out. Usually one to my sister, always one to my sister, and then whoever else. So anyways, here's the other one. You go to someplace and they all have this little fancy way they do their dough or put it all together. Me, it don't matter to me. I just put it on there, fold it in, and squeeze it together and pray that it don't leak. It's not hard to do. Here's our mix. I let it cool for a few minutes because we're gonna have to work quick. Now take another dough here and get it ready. Now, if you had to make your own dough, then it'd be a little longer. But we're doing shortcuts today. If you want to know how to make dough, I'll do a video on making dough, making pie dough. And I'll tell you what, it's really simple. All right, now we're ready. Okay, so what I do is I'm going to put this in here. Look at all this. Look how pretty this is going to look. Put a couple good scoops in. My couple usually is like 4 or 5 maybe. Don't let it go overflow though. I think I better go any more than that. Okay, you talked me into it. Maybe just a tad bit. There we go. Alright, then I take my dough, top dough, put it over the top. See? Now watch. Okay? All I do is take it like this and fold it in and give it a squeeze. Fold it in, give it a squeeze. I don't really care what it looks like. It tastes good. That's all that matters. You know, looks aren't everything. You know, you got these good cooks on there that, and then they give you these ingredients that, like, what the hell are they talking about? And then, you know, it looks good. So anyways, I go around, I squeeze this together, make sure it's sealed pretty good. And I say to work fast, especially, usually I let this set overnight and then start cold. So what I have to do is, you have to slit this and give it a little, a little air release so it doesn't overflow. But you see it's starting to like melt my, I take this egg wash, and you know what, if I have extra egg wash, I usually cook it up and give it to my baby boy, Luigi. He loves it. He loves scrambled eggs. Okay, so I give that a little swish around like this. I have this stuff that I love this stuff. It's called, I don't know, Badia, and it's poultry seasoning. This one is a southern blend. I couldn't find the plain, but I tried this and it's really good. It's not bad. And I sprinkle that over the top like this. Okay? You're done. It's it. Now let's throw it in the oven. You'll put that baby right here. I'll see you in a half an hour and we'll show you what the finished product looks like. See ya. Hello. Okay, so we're back. Here's the pot pie. It's cooled enough, I think, to cut it up and show you what it's gonna look like. Look how nice that turned out. Nice. See? We're gonna just cut a chunk out of here. And just a little piece. And let's see what it looks like. No guarantees. I always say no guarantees. So anyways, we're gonna scoop this out. Ready? Check that out. There's your pot pie. Okay. Not bad, not bad. We lost a few little items there, but other than that, looks good. Enjoy. See ya. Catch you later.